You know that feeling when you slide into the driver's seat, turn the key and feel that little spark of freedom. Maybe you're headed to your grandkids' soccer game, meeting friends for coffee, or just taking the scenic route to clear your head. Driving isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about holding on to your independence, your rhythm, your life. But let's be honest, as the years go by, things change. Maybe your reflexes aren't quite as quick as they used to be, or street signs seem a little fuzzier than they once did. That doesn't mean it's time to hang up the keys. In fact, with a few thoughtful adjustments, you can keep driving confidently and safely, well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. That's what we're diving into today: how to stay sharp, secure, and in control behind the wheel. We'll walk through 5 essential tips that can make all the difference, and we'll also talk about how to recognize when it might be wise to explore other options, because true confidence comes from knowing you're doing what's best for yourself and everyone. Sharing the road with you. Let's start with something you might not expect to be so closely tied to driving: your health. It's easy to think driving is all about your hands on the wheel and your foot on the pedal, but really, it's your eyes, ears, and overall physical health that set the stage for safety. Think about it. How can you react to a child darting into the street if you didn't see them clearly, or hear an ambulance siren coming up behind you? That's why tip number 1 is simple, but non-negotiable. Keep up with your health checkups. And I'm not just talking about your annual physical. Get your eyes checked every year, even if you feel like your vision is good enough. Conditions like cataracts or glaucoma can creep up slowly, and an optometrist can spot changes you might miss. Same goes for your hearing. If you've been putting off that hearing aid because it feels like an inconvenience, consider this. Catching the sound of a horn honking or a bike bell could prevent an accident. And don't forget to chat with your doctor about medications. Some prescriptions or combinations can cause drowsiness or dizziness, things you definitely don't want when you're navigating a busy intersection. One of my neighbors, Martha, told me she started feeling foggy during her afternoon drives. Turns out her new blood pressure medication was the culprit. Her doctor adjusted the timing, and now she's back to her alert, confident self. All right. Now let's talk about your other partner in this journey: your car. You wouldn't play tennis with a frayed racket or bake a cake with a broken oven, right? Well, driving a car that hasn't been properly maintained is just as risky. That brings us to tip number 2. Give your vehicle the love it deserves. Start with the basics: tires. Worn treads don't just reduce fuel efficiency, they make it harder to stop quickly, especially on wet roads. Run your hand over those tires every month. If the tread feels shallow, or if you spot cracks or bulges, it's time for a replacement. And while you're down there, check your tire pressure. Underinflated tires can wobble or even blow out. Next up, brakes. If you hear grinding, feel vibrations, or notice it takes longer to stop, don't ignore it. Get those brakes checked pronto. Lights are another biggie. Turn on your headlights, walk around the car, and make sure every bulb is bright and clear, especially those brake lights and turn signals. They're your way of talking to other drivers, and if they're out, you're basically driving on mute. But maintenance isn't just about fixing problems, it's also about making your car work better for you. Small adaptations can turn driving from a chore into a joy. For example, if stiff joints make it hard to grip the steering wheel, try a cushioned cover. If you struggle to check blind spots, add a wider rear-view mirror. Pedal extenders can help if reaching the gas or brake feels like a stretch. My friend Bob, who's 78, installed a backup camera after he nudged his garage door one too many times. Now he says parking feels effortless. These tweaks aren't complicated, but they add up to huge peace of mind. So we've got your health dialed in and your car humming like it should. What's next? Well, driving isn't just about you and your vehicle, it's about how you interact with the world outside. That means brushing up on skills you learned decades ago and planning ahead so you're never caught off guard. But we'll save that for our next conversation. For now, why not grab a cup of tea, take a peek at those tires, and maybe jot down a reminder to book that eye exam. Little steps today can keep you cruising confidently for years to come. So you've got your health tuned up and your car feeling like a trusted friend. That's a fantastic foundation. But here's the thing. Roads change, traffic patterns shift, and even the way we navigate has evolved since we first got our licenses. That doesn't mean you can't keep up. It just means we need to talk about how you engage with the road itself. Let's dive into tip number 3. Refresh your skills and plan smarter routes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've been driving for 50 years. What could I possibly need to learn? Well, think of it like gardening. You might have planted tomatoes for decades, but new tools or techniques could make it easier on your back or yield a better harvest. Driving's the same way. Consider taking a refresher course designed for seniors. Organizations like AARP or AAA offer them, and they're not about passing a test. They're about building confidence. You'll practice things like merging onto fast-moving highways, navigating complex intersections, or parallel parking with updated techniques. One gentleman I know, Paul, took a course after his daughter gently suggested it. He admitted he'd been avoiding left turns across busy streets for years. After a few sessions, he regained that skill and even found shortcuts in his own neighborhood he never knew existed. And speaking of neighborhoods, let's talk about planning. We all have our favorite routes, but sometimes the familiar path isn't the safest or simplest. Maybe that scenic road now has construction, or rush hour turns your quiet shortcut into a bottleneck. Try this. Before you head out, take 2 minutes to check traffic on your phone or GPS. Apps like Google Maps show real-time delays, accidents, or road closures. Better yet, avoid peak times altogether if you can. Schedule grocery runs for mid-morning, doctor appointments after lunch, and if you're heading somewhere new, preview the route. Look for tricky spots, confusing roundabouts, steep hills, or areas with limited parking. My neighbor Helen keeps a notebook in her glove compartment with step-by-step directions to her granddaughter's new apartment. No more stressing over missed exits. Now, let's address something that sneaks up on all of us, no matter our age. Distractions. Tip number 4 is all about creating a focused driving zone. We live in a world buzzing with notifications, podcasts, and ever noisier cars, but when you're behind the wheel, your attention is your superpower. Start with your phone. Silence it, not vibrate, silent. Put it in the glove compartment or back seat if you're tempted to glance. If you use it for navigation, set the destination before you drive and mount it where you won't crane your neck. And passengers. It's okay to say, let's chat when we get there if the conversation feels overwhelming. Even grandkids can learn to keep the excitement at a quieter level until the car's parked. But distractions aren't just digital or social. They're physical too. That coffee cup rolling on the floor, the tote bag sliding off the passenger seat, or fiddling with the climate controls while moving. Secure loose items before you start driving. Preset your temperature, radio, and mirrors. If you need to adjust something, pull over. It takes 20 seconds and resets your calm. Remember Claire, who told me she'd drift toward the shoulder when reaching for her water bottle? She started using a cup holder with a secure grip and keeps hydration sips for red lights. Small habit, huge difference. What ties all this together? Awareness. Not just of the road, but of yourself in the moment. Which brings us to the threshold between thriving on the road and recognizing when alternatives might serve you better. But we'll gently explore that balance next time. For now, try this. Tomorrow, choose one trip where you silence your phone before starting the engine. Notice how it feels to drive without that little ping pulling your focus. You might just rediscover the quiet joy of the open road. Let's talk about something that might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but is truly the heart of confident driving. Honest self-awareness. You see, no one knows your body, your focus, or your comfort behind the wheel better than you. That quiet voice telling you, this intersection feels overwhelming lately, or driving after dark isn't as easy as it used to be. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. And honoring that wisdom is your 5th essential tip. Tune into your body and mind every time you drive. Think of it like checking the weather before a walk. You wouldn't head out in a thunderstorm without an umbrella, right? Before you turn the key, pause, ask yourself, how's my energy today? Did I sleep poorly? Are my joints stiff? Is that new headache making it hard to concentrate? If something feels off, give yourself permission to postpone the trip. Choose a shorter route or ask for a ride. And while you're driving, notice little things. Are you drifting toward the edge of the lane, missing exit signs you'd normally spot, feeling unusually anxious in traffic? These aren't failures, they're valuable feedback. My Uncle Frank started a simple habit. After every drive, he'd rate it green, yellow, or red in a small journal. Greens were smooth and easy. Yellows meant minor struggles, maybe glare bothered him, or a roundabout confused him. Reds were stressful drives where he felt rattled. After a month, patterns emerged. He realized dusk was his yellow zone, so he switched to daytime errands. That tiny act of self-checking kept him safely in the driver's seat for 2 extra years. Now let's gently address the elephant in the room. When might it be time to explore alternatives? This isn't about losing independence. It's about redefining it. Because true freedom means getting where you need to go safely and without dread. Consider making a change if close calls happen more often, near misses, scrapes, or getting lost in familiar areas. Feedback piles up. Family expresses concern, or a doctor suggests limiting driving. Health shifts. A new diagnosis, like macular degeneration or Parkinson's, affects your abilities. Driving exhausts you. You feel physically or mentally drained after short trips. If any of these resonate, it's not an end, it's a pivot. Today's alternatives are light years beyond waiting. For the senior bus, ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft let you summon a car with a tap. Grocery delivery services bring pantry staples to your door. Community shuttles, volunteer driver programs, or even carpooling with neighbors can turn errands into social moments. And for many, giving up the stress of driving feels like lifting a weight. Take Evelyn, who handed her keys to her grandson last year. She admits she cried that day, but now, "I read my book while someone else battles traffic," she laughs. "I arrive refreshed, and my grandson loves our Tuesday coffee stops after my doctor visits." So let's weave all this together. Driving confidently after 70 isn't about clinging to the past. It's about adapting with intention. Keep your health sharp. Tip 1. Treat your car like a partner, not just a machine. Tip 2. Refresh your skills and plan routes like a pro. Tip 3. Guard your focus fiercely. Tip 4. And above all, listen to your own wise instincts. Tip 5. When driving stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling like fear, embrace the incredible alternatives waiting for you. Remember, every small step you take, scheduling that eye exam, installing a backup camera, silencing your phone, builds a safety net that lets you live boldly. Age might change how you move through the world, but it doesn't have to shrink your world. I'd love to hear from you. What's one driving adjustment that's made you feel more secure? Or what alternative transportation have you tried and loved? Share your stories in the comments below. Your experience could inspire someone else. If this resonated, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more honest chats about thriving at every age. After all, life isn't about the miles behind you, it's about the road ahead. So buckle up, stay curious, and enjoy every journey. Here's to your freedom, safety, and joy at wherever the road takes you next. Holding both courage and wisdom in your hands, that's the heart of the elderly paradox. Wherever your journey takes you, we're honored to walk beside you. Thank you for watching.